I'm real sorry. I mean, you call us up so that we can cheer you up, and, well, I just don't think we're doing a very good job.
No.
Bert, is there another old friend that you can call?
I know, Bert. You ought to call Dinah. What's Dinah Shore doing?
Way to go, Einstein. Dinah Shore has been dead for months.
Oh. Well, how about we have him call Sally Field? Is she still alive?
You idiot. $8:19 right now, and it is time for round 2 of your boners. Presenting to you now 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you will decide with your votes of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's not Boner of the Day yet, of course. It'll have to go up against the winner of round 1's voting. Round 1 we did an hour ago, but we'll take both of these winners and we'll put them against each other for Boner Fight at 9:20. That's when you'll decide Boner of the Day. Right now you're picking the champion for round 2. Choose strategically. Here we go. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random Boner voters will receive.
I can't buy it, gotta win it, pick it up someday. Katie can actually show it to you now since the cameras are working.
Are they?
Radio from Hell Boner t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting it at x96.com/live. Let me try
Let me
again.
see.
She's checking it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not either. I'm getting that
Yeah.
message, Katie.
Apparently
Well,
it's, we're getting the message on /live, but apparently on our YouTube channel. If you go directly to our YouTube channel,
Okay.
you can watch it there. So,
All right, here's Boner candidate number 1. Take the doorbell. They won't know what hit them. On Sunday, April 19th, a man and a woman in Mobile, Alabama, caught on camera stealing a doorbell camera from a home on Brown Street in the Midtown Mobile, Alabama. But they did not count on the fact that just by taking the doorbell camera, they thought, well, there. They won't.
It's all
It's still-
contained in that
it-
one
it-
little thing.
yeah.
It
It's
doesn't
not.
go anywhere else. It just sits in the camp. No.
No, I'm afraid it does go somewhere else. It goes to people's computers. Durr. Yeah, let's see if we take the doorbell, they won't know what hit them. They really thought that they were being clever by taking the doorbell so that the Boner candidate number 1. God, crooks are stupid sometimes. Boner candidate number 2 We will not allow our skate park to become a big litter box. In San Clemente, city officials, intent on keeping their residents safe in the time of coronavirus, filled the local skate park with 37 tons of sand. We told you about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this week, the skaters received some support from some local dirt bikers. Connor Erickson, one outspoken dirt bike rider, met with others who took to the sandy contours of the skate park with gusto. They filmed a few rides up and down and around the park, taking jumps on the concrete barriers, gliding up and down on the sandy surfaces. And then, when the skateboarders arrived, they joined forces, and with buckets and shovels and push brooms in hand, the dirt bikers and the skaters fixed the park back to right. They got rid of all those tons of sand that the city had taken pains to fill it in with. They maintained a distance from one another as they shredded and reclaimed a little bit of joy in the process. It's not yet known how the city will handle the uncovering of the park. That, by all accounts, is still closed in the time of social distancing. Erickson says that thus far there have been no pushback from local authorities on their actions.
How about push brooms from local authorities to clean it up? That was just a little. Never mind.
Boner candidate number 2. We will not allow our skate park to become a big litter box. We'll show the city.
There you go.
Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. Oh, you'll pay the rent.
Boner candidate number 3 for round 2 of your boners. Coming up after this big boy news and opinioendo. I'm told that if you go to x96.com/live and then hit refresh, it resets the picture and Radio from Hell Television is back.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Let's get to big boy news and opinioendo now, brought to you by
Water Pocket Distillery, locally crafted and distilled whiskey, rum, gin, and botanical spirits, now offering hand sanitizer products, located at 2084 West, 2200 South in West Valley, and online at waterpocketdistillery.co.
Now, I don't have any details about this at all. But I've just received word that the West Jordan Police Department reports that Albert Johnson, the person of interest in a double homicide that took place in West Jordan, that person has been taken into custody.
Oh, good.
The department said that Johnson was taken into custody early this morning near Sacramento, California. That's all we know about it, other than he is the suspect in the double murders in West Jordan. AMC, American Movie Classics, except that's not what they are anymore. And they started out as trying to rival Turner Classics, right?
I think so, yeah.
They try and show old movies like Turner. Well, Turner hung in there, and I sort of have forgotten about Turner Classic movies, and in this time of coronavirus, when I have a little more time to watch TV, I remembered it and I started tuning in. And boy, I like watching some of those old movies. I watched Fred Astaire in High Hat the other day. Man, what a wonderful... I mean, the movies are corny, but good Lord, watching that guy dance when he was young and just there's nothing like it. And then Deliverance was on the other night on the American movie, or not American,
thing?
on... and I thought, well, the kids have never seen this. Let's watch
You
Deliverance.
want to watch that with your kids?
Well,
wrong with you?
I'd forgotten how bad that really.
yeah.
And at the point, the Ned Beatty scene. So my daughter was kind of enjoying the movie up until that point. I mean, she was kind of into it, and then she went, "Oh, okay, I'm out of here." And I said, "Yeah, go. I forgot how bad this was."
Come on, squeal.
Yeah, there it is.
I forgot how absolutely it's not absolutely explicit.
No,
but it is pretty
It
damn
doesn't have to
close.
be. Yeah, it's
It's-
you know what.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about it, and it was and then my wife took me aside the next day and said, "What were you thinking?" I said, "Listen, I really had
weren't.
forgotten.
You weren't
You're
thinking.
right. You're right. No, I didn't. I said, you're right. I should never have suggested we watch that movie. I had forgotten. I really have not seen it since I saw it in the theaters when it came out in the late 70s or whatever. So Anyway, but back to AMC. They're making some scheduling changes for the upcoming series. The network has pushed the season 2 premiere date for the Nosferatu, the Zachary Quinto, Stephen King thing, which they were going to premiere it on June 1st, and they've been promoting that, I noticed. Well, now they're not. They're going to push it to June 21st. The full season will still simulcast on BBC America, and it's not really that good, but I did watch the whole first season, so I feel
Well, he's
compelled.
your good friend, Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, my buddy
close
Zachary
personal.
Quinto, who overacts this part so much that it's just man. But so I'll watch it. I don't know if Katie's a horror fan. I don't know if she's watched Nosferatu, and she probably would like it. You like it, Katie? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Britney Spears is going to remain under conservatorship at least until August due to coronavirus. For some reason, so her, I think it's her father has control of her estate because she's not considered responsible enough to. But somehow, she was almost considered responsible enough until coronavirus happened, and now she's not. She's gone back to square one apparently.
I don't think that was a specific thing. I think it's up for review every so
I
many
see.
months or
Okay.
years, and it was
Yeah.
scheduled for a review. And, they're
And they
like,
say
yeah,
she's
now's
still-
not the
Britney Watch. Keeping
She's
you up
still
to date with
whack.
all your Britney Spears news.
So let's see some here in Utah with the coronavirus. Few things. For instance, this is very nice. Healthcare workers, police officers, firefighters, and paramedics can get free thank you meals at McDonald's. The free food will be available via drive-through and carry-out starting today and through May 5th. Frontline workers can choose a egg a muffin, chicken McGriddle, or bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit for breakfast, or a double cheeseburger, 6-piece chicken nuggets, or filet-o-fish sandwich for lunch. All options come with a drink and a side of hash browns or a small fry. They will be served in McDonald's iconic Happy Meal boxes. And a valid ID is required. Limit one meal per person per day. But you got to be able to prove that you are a frontline worker. Utah food banks have received a $100,000 donation from KFC, which is very helpful. Subway is launching a buy a sandwich, give a meal campaign, which is also helpful. So those are good things that are happening in the light of all of this. Now, let's see. Utah, so we talked about this with Dr. Cobble. State health officials in the process of buying massive anti-malarial drugs to treat up to 200,000 of Utah's COVID-19 patients, despite objections from medical experts.
Yeah.
Medical experts say, no, we shouldn't be doing this, but the
If you have
contract to
money
buy...
to spend on COVID, this is not the thing to buy.
The contract to buy the treatments from Meds in Motion, a Utah pharmacy that has stockpiled the drugs, hasn't been finalized, so the final pricing isn't yet determined, but state leaders, including Senate President Stuart Adams, have been supportive of exploring treatment options using hydroxychloroquine. Through a public and private partnership, Utah acted early to secure these doses, Adams said. This medication has been used safely for over 70 years to treat patients with diseases like lupus, malaria, and rheumatoid arthritis. More and more studies are showing positive outcomes with COVID-19 patients.
true.
No, they're not.
No.
They're absolutely not. And that brings me to this. This was an opinion piece written by retired attorney Rick Burtonshaw. Aren't we lucky to have this great legislature in Utah? As they like to tell us, they are far brighter than anyone at the federal level. They like to say that they are the best level of government, that the best level of government is that which is closest to the people. And they're closer to us than the federal government, and they're far better than the national government in all things, whether it be health care or land management or anything else that they can think of. Not only are they, the Utah legislature, far brighter than those at the federal level, but they are also far brighter and better than those at the local level. How they reconcile that with the idea the best government is that which is closest to the people is another example of how their thought processes are far superior to normal people. And local officials should not be allowed to solve their local problems without permission and insights from our wonderful legislature. This applies to managing development, land use, healthcare, parking, air quality, and many, many other issues. Not only are our legislators smarter and more competent than federal and local officials, they're also superior to the governor and the state's executive branch. I mean, how can the governor or anyone in the executive branch measure up to the legislature's unmatched superiority?
Yes.
I love this. He goes on. This is in the Salt Lake Tribune. I don't remember, Sunday, maybe. There's more to it, but Rick Burtonshaw, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Very, very nicely done. Trump administration, the Trump company has asked the Trump administration for hotel relief.
No.
The President's Signature Hotel in the nation's capital, just a few blocks from the White House. They want a break on the terms of their lease. The landlord determining the fate of the request is Mr. Trump's own administration, Trump International Hotel. They have a big per month payment, $268,000 per month, and they want to. So the Trump family has asked the Trump administration to lower or get rid of that payment for the time being.
I know we say it all the time, but if this were a Democrat, if this were the Clintons that owned the hotels and things, you would never hear the end of it.
No, this is entirely different. This is an entirely different matter.
Every time somebody says to me, stop saying that, I say, no, you have to say it because it reminds us that this is not normal.
No.
This is an entirely different matter. Hillary Clinton should have been locked up for those emails, and she wasn't, and no one has ever suggested.
And Benghazi.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart. Okay.
I can't.
Mom, I want a vape.
I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Weather and traffic.
I have sports.
Ah.
More sports canceled. The 2020 Scripps National Spelling Bee has been CANCLED for the first time since 1945 due to the coronavirus pandemic.
I heard that.
The event, established in 1925 for elementary and middle school children, last canceled during World War II.
They used to show it on ESPN.
That's what I'm saying. It's a sport that's been canceled. Also, the running of the bulls in Spain, canceled.
That's a shame because I always look forward to people being trampled to death.
I do too. They get what they deserve in there. No running of the bulls. So more sporting events canceled. Weather should be just beautiful today. A lot like yesterday, high sunny, high 66 and very sunny. Chance of showers overnight tonight into tomorrow. We'll have a little bit of rain and cooler tomorrow. Traffic, we've got, let's see. Crash eastbound SR 201 at 31st West in West Valley. That's the only accident I'm seeing, and friends of the program haven't sent me anything in recently, but if you see something you want to share, I will happily pass it along. 33986.
Here's boner candidate number 3. You'll pay the rent. Forest Grove, Oregon. A man there says that his property manager used an Internal Revenue Service system to determine whether he and other tenants had received their government stimulus checks. The messages between Goodrich and who he describes as his property manager went viral on Twitter when they were shared by Joshua Bowder, the CEO of Do Not Pay, a company that offers a chat bot to virtually offer legal assistance through an app. Now, Mr. Goodrich told Business Insider he had not told his landlord or property manager about receiving his stimulus check. Though his property manager on April 15th, the same day he received the government payout, sent him a text message saying, "I am aware that you have received your stimulus check, and I think you need to now pay your rent. I'm trying to close out the books for April," the property manager wrote to Mr. Goodrich, "so please put your rent in order." In another text message seen in the screenshot, the property manager said he used the IRS tool to check on the payment status of any tenant who had called him in the past 2 days. "So are you going to be making a payment towards your rent so I can close the books out in April?" said another message from the purported property manager. A warning that appears before users of the site can input their personal information reads in large text that the system is for authorized use only. The IRS warning says unauthorized use of this system is prohibited and subject to criminal and civil penalties. There is a boner candidate here on two levels. Mm-hmm. The fact that this guy can get into that system in spite of this being private information, that's boner, part of the boner. And the other part of the boner is that he's doing it and spying on his tenants. Boner candidate number 3. Oh, you'll pay the rent.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, take the doorbell and they won't know what hit them. A couple stealing the doorbell camera, thinking that would protect them, not realizing there is a video somewhere else of them committing their crime. Boner candidate number 2, we will not allow our skate park to become a big litter box. A San Clemente skate park unburied by a rebellious group of citizens. And boner candidate number 3, oh, you'll pay the rent.
All right, here we go. This is round 2 of your boners. You've got to decide, of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? If it wins here, it goes forward. It'll go up against the winner of round 1. We did that an hour ago. We'll take both of these winners, and at 9:20 this morning, that's when boner fight happens, and that's when you'll decide boner of the day. Right now, you got to pick your champion for this round 2. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that number, that single digit, is all we need in the message of a text. Text it to 33986. Or call the producer's booth, 877-602-9696. Use your voice. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting April 22, 2020, and vote there. If you don't see it, refresh. It should appear. This is round 2. Let's go.
As soon as...
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of 2 such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! Today, we join our elders as they are drawn to a mysterious, uncharted planet.
Are you sure the weird booming voice in your head said that this was the planet?
Yeah, this is the place.
I'm getting no signs of life on this planet anywhere. Just some weird power source in a cavern well beneath the surface.
Well, we better check it out.
Wow, cool cavern. Hey, Lehi, look. Lava lamps. Keen, huh?
Hey, Butch, you shouldn't mess around with stuff that's not ours.
Put me down.
Who said that?
It came from the lava lamp.
That is not a lava lamp. It is my receptacle. I am Calgon. Welcome to our world.
Sorry. Well, who's in the other receptacle?
That is my son, Polygon. We have resided here for 50,000 years, waiting for someone to come.
Hi, I'm Elder Christiansen, and this is Elder Jensen.
Hi.
We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
And we heard you call, and we're here to offer any assistance we can. How did you guys end up in these receptacle thingies anyway?
We were a proud people, so technically advanced that we would be considered gods by your standards. We could have made an operational hyperbike the size of a walnut.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't be very useful, though.
Centuries ago, our world was ravaged by war. We saw our own destruction and designed this cave to ensure the survival of our species. Of all the great minds of our world, only my son and I have survived.
Well, what do you want from us? A chance to hear the first discussion?
After 50,000 years, we wish to borrow your bodies so that we may get out and stretch our legs.
Oh, and what would happen to us?
You would occupy our receptacles during our short stay in your bodies.
Oh, hey, no way. How do we know you guys even have legs?
Come on, Butch, it'll be fun. Besides, we're here to help people.
And what guarantee do we have that you won't leave us stranded in these receptacles for the next 50,000 years?
I promise. cross my heart.
Well, we'll have to take your word for that. Okay, we'll do it.
Oh, Father, I had forgotten what it was like to breathe the air. We have been in the receptacles for far too long.
Yes, my son, far too long. I can't wait to have a cup of coffee.
Not in my body, you don't.
And I want to get a Slurpee and give myself brain freeze.
Oh, I hate brain freeze. Hey, time's up. Get back in your receptacle.
Have Butch and Lehigh been cheated out of their bodies? Could our elders baptize a receptacle? Are they waterproof, or do they float? Will Lehigh's body get its first taste of coffee? Can Butch survive a bad case of brain freeze? Tune in next time to hear Calgon say...
Well, my son, we gave our word. It is now time to surrender their bodies and return to our receptacle.
No way! I haven't even gotten to play Nintendo yet. You just want to give them back their bodies because I got the good-looking one.
Oh, how true.
On the next hip-dislocating episode of Space Elders!
Things that must go coming up here in a moment, so stand by for that. It's 8:43. First, we got to award round 2 of your boners.
And that's brought to you in part by Tomato Soup.
And Water Pocket Distillery, locally crafted distilled whiskey, rum, gin, and botanical spirits. Now offering hand sanitizer products located at 2084 West, 2200 South in West Valley. Online at waterpocketdistillery.co.
Boner candidate number 1 was take the doorbell. You'll never know what hit them. Genius crooks, saying, if you steal the doorbell, well, then the doorbell camera, then they won't have any record of this. No, sorry, that's not how it works.
Actually, we got a better look at you this way.
Yeah. Boner candidate number 2, we will not allow our skate park to become a big litter box. That's San Clemente Skate Park unburied by a rebellious group of citizens. And boner candidate number 3, oh, you'll pay the rent. A property manager apparently accessing IRS records of his tenants to find out if they'd received their stimulus check or not.
Well,
and then,
the landlord probably has your Social Security number and personal info
that's true.
to do that. So
but it still should not be allowed to do that. But anyway, that's boner candidate number 3. Alex won a boner T-shirt, and the property manager in boner candidate number 3 wins boner round 2.
That is your winner of round 2. It now goes forward to boner fight. So at 9:20. That's when we'll take the winners of round 1 and round 2 and put them against each other. That's when you'll decide boner of the day. We are broadcasting live from our respective bunkers, hiding out until this thing is over.
I'm in plain sight here. I'm right at my dining table.
I was going to say, you can see us at x96.com/live.
Yeah.
Hello.
You can sort of see how we live.
Sort of. But join us.
Bill, you never did a tour of RFH Cribs episode.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, darn. Well, I didn't.
You need to do that.
Oh, darn. Well, it's here, let's do it right now. There, look behind me. There, you see? There you go.
Yeah.
There's a mirror with some wooden figurines. There you go.
People want to see more.
No, they don't. They don't want to know what we live like.
People are curious, actually. Just the opposite is true.
We need to do one, Bill.
I don't want to put them off their feed.
It's only fair. It's only fair. Carrie and I did it.
I know.
You can just say you don't want to.
Well, I kind of don't want to.
Oh, there. You don't have to make excuses. Just say you don't want to.
I just don't want to hurt people,
Hurt people?
Hurt people? How would it hurt people?
Have you ever watched that show, Hoarders?
Bill, do we need to do an intervention?
Does it kind of make you sick when you watch it?
Have you got a path to get to certain rooms? Have you got paths?
I have a path.
All right. Let's get to Things That Must Go, brought to you by
Diet Coke. I only have 3 more cans. Diet Coke. What am I going to do? Diet Coke.
I don't know. What could you possibly do
Last
about
couple
that?
times I've been to the store, they've been out.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Things That Must Go.
Things that must go on the radio from Hell Show.
These are things that are bugging you, our friends of the program, things that you can't take anymore. You're tired of them. You need these things to go from your life, and so you send them to us. You put must go in a subject line of an email, and you send it to radiofromhell@x96.com, and then hopefully, if we read yours on the radio, these things will leave your life, or at very least, it'll make you feel better to get it off your chest. I'll start, and then I'm going to reconnect my internet connection yet again. But let me see if I can get through this. First, so for one of my things that must go is my internet acting up this morning, making it difficult for me to broadcast here on the Radio from Hell show. The next thing is, it says, Bill, the past 3 mornings I've gone running on a nearby trail, and each time I have encountered a group of 4 women running together. I'm relatively sure that they do not all live together, which is the thing that must go. Number 1. Number 2, they refuse to run single file when passing me going the other direction, forcing me to run off trail in order to maintain a safe distance. Even if you don't seem to care about social distancing, at least you could have some respect for those of us who do. Atropos. Here, dear lords, this is my list of things that must go. When you have a cut on your finger or hand and then you have to wash your hands constantly so you can't keep a Band-Aid on it, and the sore takes forever to heal. And also, Kerry for not giving us proper earthquake warnings. And then finally this, please don't use my name. Well, they expect you to be the touchstone of earthquakes with that, it's an earthquake.
Earthquake.
Hello, lords. Okay. I hope you're all hanging in there due to these strange times. Here are my things that must go. First, the royal family. I really can't stand hearing about them all the time. Just their existence perpetuates the ridiculous and ancient idea that one can be born with superior blood. How are they still a thing? Down with the royals. Next, people calling in and saying, and I agree with this, hello, lords and lady. Stop it. It's just lords. It really is, and I've tried to make that point before, too. Gina is a lord of the morning radio, a lord of morning radio. She's not a lady of morning radio. She is a lord of morning radio. Kerry is a lord, and yes, Bill somehow is also a lord. It's here. Finally, people who make a weird face when I say the city Hooper. I grew up there. It's pronounced a certain way, but it's not an incorrect pronunciation. It just follows different grammar rules. For example, shook, took, look, hoop, It makes sense. Leave hooper alone. Bill, make mine a double. Geek Show says, hey, Carrie. And Gina, keep on rocking in the free world while remaining seated. Of course, cheers, y'all. And now I'm going to say goodbye for a moment and reconnect.
Okay. Gina, you want to go?
Sure. Just one thing for me, things that must go, sad piano music. There's a lot of it lately. I won't go into more detail than that, but
like commercials and things like okay. All right.
No more sad piano music. This from our friend the Disco Unicorn. Things that must go, that stupid Denzel Washington gif that without fail pops up every time a celebrity's name is trending on Twitter. It's not funny, not even ironically. Stop it. Thanks for letting me listen. Disco Unicorn. Dear Kentucky Colonels and Captain Katie, it's Dr. White. A thing that must go during the coronavirus quake SLC. This goes along with the Troposes, too. If you're out hiking, walking, jogging, biking, etc., and you're coming up behind somebody, it's your responsibility to create the personal distancing, not the person in front of you, similar to skiing or snowboarding rules, like, on your left, or... Another thing that must go is, y'all who thought that just because I'm black and from the South, I wouldn't know skiing etiquette. Expand your minds, Dr. White says. Thanks for letting me listen. And then, let's see, finally this from Mackenzie. People who reach over me at the grocery store when we're supposed to be trying to stand 6 feet apart, the same people who sneeze and don't cover their mouth, even if it wasn't a pandemic going on, it's rude and gross. Thank you for making my mornings a little better during this stressful, hard time. I appreciate you guys, and stay safe. Carrie?
All right. First one comes from our house, in these troubled times. Quit inviting me to Zoom meetings. We hardly talked before COVID, and now you want to hang out with me on Zoom as a group because that's what everyone is doing. No thanks. I can tell you who my real friends are because they haven't sent me a Zoom request. Netflix not asking me anymore, are you still watching? Like it did pre-COVID. Seeing it would at least remind me to look out of a window or go get food or water. So, there you go. All right. This one from Tony. Things that must go. Dogs that have really smelly farts. Especially when you have to telecommute at home for self-quarantine. My roommate Eddie and his girlfriend have sex so loud that it wakes me up before my alarm goes off. And they don't even use condoms. Why can't Carrie remind people on the show to use them? And finally, strong earthquakes. I'm fed up with them. Tony. Mm-hmm. All right. This one from Tori. My thing that must go for today is the overuse of the word obsessed, especially in ads and posts on social media. For example, I've started using this new product and I'm totally obsessed with it. When someone uses this word, I instantly think that they're stupid and they have no idea what they're talking about. I will purposely not purchase that product that's being promoted and will probably unfollow or block this person. Please stop using the word obsessed. Don't say it in your videos and don't put it in your copy. Pick a better word. That's all, Tori. And let's see, this one from Brady, the delivery driver. The people that are protesting against quarantine must go. I get that you all feel trapped or helpless because of what's going on. Guess what, though? We all feel a twinge of helplessness. And when you go out en masse to express your displeasure, you're slapping every at-risk senior citizen in the face. You're certainly showing the ultimate form of disrespect toward healthcare professionals like my mom that are risking their well-being to treat your selfish asses. And it's so damn tiring having to explain to people that this isn't the flu.
No.
This is a whole other virus entirely. And your focus shouldn't be on protesting having to sit at home. It should perhaps be protesting the broken economic system that allows big corporations to be bailed out with billion-dollar loans while people have to decide whether to risk their well-being just to go to work. From Brady, the delivery driver. Thank you, Brady.
Things that must go on the radio from Hell Show.
Okay. Gina, do you have traffic?
We got a free wheelbarrow in traffic northbound I-15 approaching Bangor Highway. You need one? There it is. That's traffic.
Well, and there's a chair in the center.
Was there a chair? Did I miss a chair?
Center of I-15 northbound just before the Bangor exit.
Is anybody reporting a new set of underwear? I need some new underwear. So
out on the freeway.
If there's any new underwear on the road somewhere. New. It has to be new. I'll take that.
Gina Colby says, I bought 3 12-packs of Tab on Amazon for about $11.
The Tab won't do, though, will it, Gina?
Tab will not do.
No.
Tab will not do.
Yeah.
Tab will not do.
I used to drink
I
Tab.
only have 3 cans left of Diet Coke, only 3.
I used to drink Tab. I quite enjoyed Tab at one time.
It's before you had Diet Coke available to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You put a little lime in it. It was good.
Nobody remembers Diet Right?
Diet Right Cola. Mm-hmm. Bet.
All right, we'll take a break. We will be back. By the way, we're doing, until further notice, since we're doing our shows from home, we're staying on till 11 now.
What?
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah.
Radio from Hell goes to 11. Where's that billboard? Huh?
No, it was too easy.
Come on.
Crank it up
Where's
to
that
11.
I'm not even kidding.
Well,
I
tell
know.
Todd.
Put it
That's
on a
good.
billboard.
Radio from Hell goes to 11.
And
Tell
then the
Todd to
little
get on
knob.
that.
Just a big knob right with our faces around it.
No? All right.
Come
we'll
on,
take a break.
Todd.
We'll be back. Zero Res.
Nothing is more important than cleaning stuff right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
To maintain your health. And that's why Zero Res has reduced their pricing to help as many people as they can. They're still open. Cleaning is essential. So you should call Zero Res. They'll come to your house as they have come to our houses and do a fabulous job cleaning things up, carpet, tile, upholstery, other surfaces. Zero Res right now is offering this $25 per room. Now there are some restrictions apply, but Zero Res is really who you want to call to help more people. Reduced rates, $25 per room. Just call Zero Res today. Their phone number is 801-2880. That's 288-9376. Or go to ZeroResSLC.com or ZeroResDavisWeber.com.
Channel 2 News at 10, it's Rod Decker, Undercover. What goes on behind the counter of your favorite burger joint? Are you getting more than you bargained for when you order it to go? Should we pay fast food workers more? And just what's in those deep-fried chicken pieces everybody orders? Our undercover reporter, Rod Decker, puts on a paper hat, a uniform, and a plastic badge with the name Bob on it, and he takes his hidden camera to uncover the truth about fast food.
Okay, Bob, I'm your manager. We'll start you out on the counter and see how you do.
Very good, sir. Hello, may I take your order?
Yes. I'll have a big burger, a 6-piece chicken thing, and a large root beer.
Would you like fries with that?
No. If I had wanted fries, I would have asked for fries.
So what you're telling me is that you don't want fries with your order.
That is what I said, isn't it?
Bob, you're slowing us down here. The customers are backing up. Let's move you over to fries for a bit. You work out there. We might be able to promote you to grill. You screw up, buddy, you're out of here.
Okay, then.
Oh, hey, Bob, I'm Ted. Welcome to Fry's. Pay no attention to the assistant manager. One community college management course, and he thinks he's rake rock.
I see. So what's your story?
I just need some spare cash. I don't see myself cleaning out the shake machine 10 years from now. Hey, Bob, Bill's brother here is smuggling a keg back from Evanston. Big beer bash tonight. You want to come?
So what you're saying is that there will be an illegal supply of alcoholic beverages available tonight.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. You're Rod Decker, the Channel 2 news guy. Hey, everybody, it's Rod Decker.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. My name is Bob. I'm just an everyday high school student trying to get by on minimum wage.
Hey, you are Rod Decker. Give me that paper hat. Did anyone tell him what's in the deep-fried chicken pieces?
No.
Good. Now back to work, all of you.
There you have it. Fast food workers seem to be highly trained professionals. The weak links, like me, get weeded out in a hurry due to first-rate management techniques. As for minimum wage, it seems to be enough for these kids to have beer money. And the deep-fried chicken pieces are still a mystery to me. This is Rod Decker, Undercover, KUTV News.
Silverchair, because on this day.
Daniel Johns, the lead singer and guitar player for Silverchair, was born in 1979. They recorded that song. They were wee lads. They were just 15 years old when they recorded that song. What are you doing, Bill?
Huh? Oh, I was just reading, looking at a cooking magazine. You know, it's you know why I get various publications that are devoted to cuisine and cooking and recipes and so forth, and I like them because they have such fascinating articles. For instance, here we have a world of flatbread. here we have a world of flatbread. This one, Jen Lewis rethinks butter chicken with chickpeas. How about that?
Let's rethink this.
Here's a pot of rice that's anything but plain. You see, these are fascinating. Here's how to make 2 cheese seeded scones.
No thanks.
Why not make panna cotta with yogurt? Is another article.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You're playing God now with panna cotta.
I don't know. Let's make quiche? Question mark? Another.
Have you ever made a quiche?
When it comes to salad, stop chopping, start grating. These are
Grated
fascinating.
salad?
Yeah. These are fascinating
I like the
articles.
big leaves. I like the crunch. I don't.
Stop settling for dull potatoes. That's a good one. Let's see. I'm going to try most of these too. Let's see. There's another couple of really good ones here. Oh, we're not using nearly enough paprika.
I agree. I've been saying that for years, and nobody listens to me.
That's the name of the article. You will put this bold, fresh sauce on anything.
Even this?
Yep. Transforming baked chicken with ream cassis. Brashly delicious salads. Let's see. So you can see why I take these magazines, can't you? These are refreshing limeade, Ho Chi Minh style. No open fire needed for these creamy chestnuts.
That sounds like something.
I know.
That sounds like something else.
A tasty friend for fried rice. Yeah. So I'll be. This will keep me busy for a week at least.
That's somebody's job to come up with the titles of those articles.
Yeah, I know.
It's also somebody's job to run Radio from Hell TV. The commercial break music is still playing.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What are you making tonight, Bill? What's dinner tonight?
Chicken Caesar salad. An old standby. Easy to do.
Will you make your own croutons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Homemade croutons. Of course.
Using the romaine lettuce, of course, right?
Yeah, although we have some lettuces in the garden, which I think we might use some garden lettuce, which I prefer romaine, but, you know.
Yeah, if you're doing a proper Caesar, it needs to be the whole leaf romaine.
I read an article in one of these magazines one time that said, really, when you're talking about Caesar salad, it's Caesar salad. If you put chicken on it, it's something else.
Oh,
it should have a different name?
Yeah, people call it a chicken Caesar salad, but really, a classic Caesar salad, it has nothing to do with chicken.
Everything I learned about Caesar salad, I learned from Captain Bastard, and he would agree with you.
Yeah. I learned about Caesar salad in the place where it was invented, Mexico. And it was the only time I've ever had a proper Caesar salad where they bring it, so they come to the table with all the fixings and eggs and oil, and they mix raw eggs and oil together, whisk it together, and I think that, and then there's some little spices in it as well. But a traditional Caesar salad is just.
Well, you've got to get the sardines in there, right?
Anchovies, yeah.
Anchovies, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, anchovies.
The little fishies.
Yeah, they bring anchovies, but it was really fascinating. They bring a big wooden bowl, and they mix up that dressing in there, and then they throw the romaine in there, and yeah, it was invented by, I think the guy's name was Caesar, but I know it was invented in Mexico in Mexico City specifically. I think at a hotel there, some chef put it together. So it was. I had that in when we used to do stuff when we were a radio station that did stuff, and we went to Mazatlan a couple of times. I think we went to Mazatlan and took listeners with us, and that was a lot of fun. And there was kind of a nice little in Mazatlan, it was still in the resort area, but there were a lot of restaurants and shops and things on that main street, and it was just some little restaurant there along that main street, and had a great meal there, including that delicious Caesar salad. Really liked that, and cheap. Man, it was cheap.
All right, let's take a break. We do have a boner fight coming up to determine boner of the day. Stand by for that. So we'll have a reasonable amount of news before that. Don't forget, we're staying on till 11.
What?
Yeah, I know. We'll take a break now, but first we need to tell you about a message from the state of Utah.
You know, the state of Utah right now, you can go to coronavirus.utah.gov, and there's lots of information there about all of this that's going on right now. But, there are volunteer opportunities the state can tell you about. May seem like all you hear right now is what you can't do, but one example is Project Protect, one of the largest community service efforts since the 2002 Winter Olympics in our state. Intermountain Health Care, the Latter-day Saint Charities, University of Utah Health, and Utah nonprofits are getting together to ask anybody who can sew a basic straight line and make medical-grade masks and gowns. Starting yesterday, anybody in Utah can sign up at coronavirus.utah.gov to get materials. They'll bring you the materials. The goal is to have 50,000 volunteers sewing 5 million masks and gowns to ensure that our frontline health workers have the protection. So sign up. Project Protect or projectprotect.health. Find out more information at coronavirus.utah.gov.
Let's join Carrie and Bill at the Acme Broadcasting Company party at Rockport Reservoir.
Boy, what a nice day for a company party, huh?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, it's just beautiful up here. And we deserve this, don't we?
I think that everybody on the staff deserves a nice party like this. I mean, we've all worked so hard to get this station to show in the ratings.
Yeah. Showing up in the top 35 stations ain't that easy either.
No.
Hey, look at everybody down there on the beach by the picnic table. We ought to hike down there.
No, we can get a much better shot at all of them with our paintball guns from up here.
Huh.
Now look at Mario there. I'll bet you I can knock that beer right out of his hand.
Good shot. hey, they can't see us up here, can they?
Well, apparently not. Hey, listen, see if you can splatter the side of Bessie with a volley of that green paint you got.
Righto. spelled my name. Hey, they're all starting to scatter and take cover now. What a great party. Hey, see if you can hit Sonny before she makes it to that tree.
Okay. Oh, damn, I missed her. You know, she's so thin, there's not much of a target there. Hey, what's Ed Acme doing?
Well, it looks like he's pushed over the picnic table and he's using it as a barrier. Get out your binoculars.
Got him. Oh, my God. That's a 30-30 he's pulling out of his knapsack. Oh! And it looks like he's got a bead on us, too. That was too close.
Godfrey. Jeez, everybody else seems to be packing heat, too. Look at that. Mario's gunning back at us with some kind of flare gun.
Whoa!
Gee!
All right, Sonny thinks she's going to hit us clear up here with that little pistol of hers.
Oh!
Oh, but Acme's really got us pinned down with that thing.
Well, then I guess it's a good thing I brought this to the company party, isn't it?
Oh, an Uzi.
Yeah.
Bill, you the man. Oh, God, what a great party. $9:18 now. We got Boner Fight coming up here in about a bit. So we have about 7 minutes before that. So a reasonable amount of news before we get to Boner Fight. Brought to you by
Moochie's would like to thank their loyal customers for supporting their locally owned and operated stores. Moochie's is offering free delivery or pickup within designated areas. Call your local Moochie's to order.
Well, as the old saying goes, the show must go on, and in our case, it's going on until 11. And American Idol, that's their mantra, too. The show must go on. They, too, are going on until 11. No. They have found a way to move forward with their current season in the midst of the pandemic that forced the sudden shutdown of most of Hollywood's productions. After producing 2 previously unplanned episodes called This Is Me that dived deeper into the lives of the remaining contestants, the singing competition revealed last week that finalists will perform from home during some live shows. Judges Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan will also be remote, as will host Ryan Seacrest and mentor Bobby Bones, starting this Sunday. Entertainment Weekly reports. So it's the first time I read through all of that story. What the hell is Bobby Bones doing there? What is he a mentor for?
I don't know.
He's a radio guy.
He's radio scum.
Yeah. He's last time we went to a convention, he spoke at that convention, or he was on a panel with the Baby the God, or whatever his name was. Francis
Charlemagne
the God.
Baby the God. Although that's a good one. I like Baby the God.
Sure.
Yeah, Charlemagne the God.
Here's a scene from American Idol, though, if you'd like to.
Yeah, that's working well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Chips Ahoy!
Yes?
Ahoy,
Chips Ahoy. Chips Ahoy Sour Patch Kids cookies.
No.
Again, you are just so stubborn and unwilling to try anything.
That does not sound... Tell me that sounds good to you.
I would be willing to give it a try.
I'm not buying them. If you had one and you offered me one, I would try it, but I'm not going to buy it.
Gina would slap it out of your hand and then stomp on it. No!
Get that out of my face.
Limited edition flavor. So Chips Ahoy are pretty terrible anyway. But these appear to be filled with Sour Patch Kids candy pieces and brightly colored chips. Now, it's not clear if those chips are more candy-flavored or chocolate-flavored. People certainly had some interesting reactions to seeing these. But why, said one person, I'm super excited to try them. I have a Dollar Tree right by my house. So far they have been
Chips
spotted
Ahoy
at Dollar Tree.
Chips Ahoy aren't bad with milk, but just a straight ahead Chips Ahoy is just kind of a dry.
No,
You know how I eat
chewy
my
Chips Ahoy. Chewy Chips Ahoy.
That's true. They have
Well,
that.
you know how I eat my Chips Ahoy with milk is that I pour myself a nice tall cold glass of milk, and then I get a package of Chips Ahoy and throw them in the trash and drink the milk.
That's how you eat Chips
That's how I
Ahoy.
do it. Yeah. So,
You buy them and
Yeah.
then throw
Yeah.
them away.
yeah, just chuck the whole thing in the trash and drink that nice, delicious, ice-cold milk. Let's see. The main suspect in the double homicide of a West Jordan couple was arrested in California today. According to a tweet from the West Jordan Police Department, Albert Enoch Johnson was taken into custody in the Sacramento area. The tweet thanked allied law enforcement authorities and the U.S. Marshal Service for assisting with his apprehension. The 31-year-old Johnson is suspected of breaking into the home of Tony and Catherine Butterfield early Saturday and shooting them to death after an apparent struggle. Mr. Johnson's wife, Sina, was arrested on Tuesday on suspicion of withholding information about her husband's whereabouts and destroying crime evidence. That's all they're saying so far about this particular case. Coronavirus here in Utah. The latest numbers are 3,296 confirmed cases, 72,358 people tested, 277 hospitalizations, 32 deaths. The latest U.S. numbers, 846,240 confirmed cases, 45,373 deaths. And around the world, coronavirus has now killed about 178,370 people. But New Zealand has, well, their strategy to eradicate COVID-19 looks to be paying off. Professional surfer and surf instructor Zen Wallace said he initially disagreed with criminalizing surfing as part of New Zealand's lockdown. Now he believes the gains may have been worth it. After more than a month confined to dry land without being immersed in salt and seawater, New Zealander Zen Wallace says it feels like he's living in somebody else's body. It's really strange not to go into the water, the professional surfer said. My skin feels different. My hair feels different. Surfing has been one of the casualties of New Zealand's extreme lockdown introduced in mid-March, one of the most stringent virus-fighting regimes anywhere in the world. Mr. Wallace runs a surfing school in Piha on New Zealand's North Island, a 45-minute drive from Auckland. Coming at the tail of the Southern Hemisphere summer, he says his classes normally now would have been full and he would have been in the water for as long as there was daylight. It's an interesting call to make, he says, but, it seems to be working. New Zealand said we are going to crush this virus, and apparently they have. The number of cases that each person with the virus passes it on to now is less than half a person each.
They have that badass prime minister who takes
what's her name? Jacinda something.
Ardern.
Ardern.
Ardern. She takes strong, decisive action. She did it with gun violence. She's doing it with this.
Mm-hmm.
Just think if we had a strong female leader in this country.
Here in this country,
right
we
now.
don't like strong leaders. We don't want strong leaders. We're America, damn it.
Do you know where we have them? And not to be the girl saying this. I wish one of you were. But the women are taking this in hand. Erin Mendenhall, Holly Mullen, or not. I do that every time. Not Holly. Jenny Wilson.
Okay. Go ahead. Bust some balls. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They are taking charge, and they are taking decisive, strong action, and it's making a difference, and I'm so glad.
Well, I, for one, am going to take the pants back.
Every good idea that I have seen out there in the past 4 years has been presented by a woman.
Oh, that's it. Fine. Just toe the lady line, Carrie. Go ahead.
I vote for women when I can.
Let them emasculate you.
Because we old white men have screwed things up so badly, it's time to turn it over to somebody else.
Donald Trump says he's ordered the Navy to shoot down Iranian gunboats because he apparently believes they fly.
They have flying gunboats.
Donald Trump delivering State of the let's see, no, that's not it. Trump tweeted this morning, he's instructed the Navy to, quote, shoot down and destroy Iranian gunboats should they harass U.S. ships. Trump's tweet comes hours after multiple media outlets reported that Iran had launched its first military satellite. So because they launched a satellite,
what does that have to do with
shoot down the gunboats?
I'm president, and you're not.
Earlier this year, tensions between the U.S. and Iran ratcheted up when President Trump ordered the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, one of Iran's top military leaders. Iran responded with a missile strike at an Iraqi military base. While no U.S. troops or allied troops were killed in the strike, the Pentagon has since reported dozens of U.S. soldiers suffered from traumatic brain injuries. They get a headache. It's a tremendous headache. It's a serious headache. One of the all-time great headaches is what they get. And then they're okay.
They want to kill our cows.
You remember he did say that about the traumatic brain injuries that these guys got.
Yeah.
Well, they get better. It's a headache, tremendous headache, one of the best headaches.
You're a tremendous headache.
Well, and Donald Trump says that Harvard University has to pay back the stimulus money that came from the stimulus package that he signed. So President Trump joined mounting criticism of Harvard University, said that the richest university in the country would pay back $8.6 million in relief money from a coronavirus stimulus package that the president himself signed last month. Harvard's going to pay back the money. They have one of the largest endowments anywhere in the country. It's a tremendous endowment. It's a big, very rich, tremendous endowment that this very wonderful, incredible university has. Is very big, very large. And I think it's one of the biggest in the world, maybe, I guess. And they're going to pay back the money, he says. The president appears to conflate the source of the funds allocated to Harvard with a set of federal loans meant for small businesses. And the university said, well, no, we got the money. And, yeah, we did get the money, which is, they shouldn't have probably. But they said they're keeping it, not giving it back. They're keeping it. And they're going to distribute it entirely to students in need. Well, the Education Department said the formula for distributing the aid package to universities was set by Congress and can't be changed.
They have a lot. I mean, you think Harvard and you think it's a bunch of rich kids. They have a lot of kids there on scholarship and people in challenging situations.
Underprivileged. They have a lot of. They accept a lot of underprivileged students who can't afford to go there by their families, and so they subsidize them. Mm-hmm. But it is also true that they are probably the wealthiest university in the country, with endowments that run deep for many, many years.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
Tremendous endowments, large, big, very deep, rich, large endowments. All right, the winner... Cat, leave me alone. The winner from round one going up against the winner from round two. Here we go. The 7 o'clock hour winner was, go ahead, Dan, be our guest. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, that's his lieutenant governor in Texas, getting hammered for bleak and macabre arguments against the coronavirus lockdowns. Sure, people are going to die, but they have to die. We're going to have people die so the economy doesn't die, says Dan Patrick. Well, go ahead, Dan, be our guest then. And boner candidate number two from the 8 o'clock hour, oh, you'll pay the rent. A property manager and a landlord allegedly searching the IRS system to see if his tenants received a stimulus check. And then if he found out that they did, he sent them a letter saying, I hope you're going to pay your rent with that now. That's number two.
All right, you've got to decide of these two candidates, which one is the worst, which one deserves to be boner of the day, 1 or 2. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that number, that single digit is all we need in the message of a text. Text it to 33986. Pretty easy. Or you can call. The producer's booth will take your voice vote, 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Fight, April 22, 2020, and vote there. You have only until the end of these messages to get your vote in and determine who is Boner of the Day. This is Boner Fight.
Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of two such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their bishop and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders. We begin our drama at the Space Bus Depot in Provo as our fine young missionaries-to-be, Lehigh Christiansen and LaRon Butch Jinson, arrive in Happy Valley and await transportation to the MTC.
Hi, I'm Lehigh Christiansen. Isn't this exciting?
Oh, is this your first time in a space bus depot?
No, I mean getting your mission call.
Well, it was either this or a stint in the Space Marines. This way I'm out in 2 years and my parents are still happy.
I've been waiting for this day since I was 8. I've been putting galactic credits into my missionary fund for the past 11 years.
Oh.
I can't wait to get into the field and start finding people to convert.
Wow, you sure are in the right place. Well, my folks promised me a new land speeder if I found some way to avoid getting sent home early.
Oh, looky, there's a droid over there holding a sign with my name on it.
Must be our escort to the MTC.
I am Decon 1. If you will follow me, I will show you to the MTC and get you settled into your quarters there.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Later, we find our strapping young lads in the midst of their indoctrination. Butch has just been told that he will have Lehigh as his companion for the next 2 years.
Hey, wait a minute. 2 years with this guy?
You don't seem overly enthusiastic about the prospect of spending 2 years with me.
I'm not.
Well, I think it's a keen idea.
If you two are through, I would like to commence with your indoctrination. Here at the MTC, you will be given memory-enhancing implants. At the same time, a universal translating device will be placed inside your skull. You'll be outfitted with the latest in missionary technology, a laptop computer which contains the Bible, Book of Mormon, Pearl of Great Price, and the Doctrine and Covenants. It also serves as a holo projector to allow you to show your prospective converts those wonderful animated tales from the Book of Mormon, which have been loved by millions for centuries. You will also be issued a Mark 32 10-speed bicycle with hyperdrive and one of those cute luggage racks on the back. These bikes are capable of warp 9.3 and have a cruising radius of over 270 parsecs. You will be shown how to properly care for your hyperbike, and you will be responsible for its upkeep. Any questions?
Yeah. Implants? Like inside my head?
Yes.
Keen, when do we start?
Will Butch let the fine folks at the MTC put equipment in his head? Will Lehigh volunteer to do it for them if it'll get him into the field faster? Does the Mark 32 Hyperbike come with a luggage rack standard, or is it a dealer add-on? Tune in next time for the answers to these questions and to hear our elders say...
What you doing, Butch?
Reprogramming my name badge so that instead of Elder LaRon Jensen, it reads Butch.
I think the manual prohibits tampering with the MTC issue equipment.
I'm sure it does. Hey, you want to help me put some fender flares on my bike?
On our next kidney-wrenching episode of Space Elders.
Boner of the Day is brought to you in part by grilled ham and cheese sandwiches and a bowl of tomato soup.
And Diversion Eatery, delicious pizza, burgers, tacos, salads, now available for curbside pickup or DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats for delivery. Order online at diversioneatery.com or call 657-7326.
That's a good idea. So we had boner candidate number 1, Republican Lieutenant Governor of Texas Dan Patrick, getting hammered for his bleak and macabre argument against coronavirus lockdowns. Sure, people are going to die. Well, that's just the cost of doing business. People are going to have to die. We need to open up the economy again and let people die. Well, okay, Dan, go ahead. Be our guest. Going up against number 2, oh, you'll pay the rent. A landlord illegally searching an IRS system to see if his tenants had received their stimulus checks. And when he discovered that they did, he'd send them a note saying, I see you got your stimulus check. I hope you're going to pay your rent. Let's see. The winner, boy, it was very close. But the winner by 3 votes, boner candidate number 1. Okay, Dan, go ahead. Be our guest.
All right. She is the winner of Boner of the Day. He is now qualified to be Boner of the Week. That will be decided on Friday by Dave the Flower Guy. Not you, Dave the Flower Guy.
You know, coming up at 10 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill. He's the Chief Law Enforcement Officer for the county. And law enforcement is, you know, they're stressed right now.
Crime didn't go away just because.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and maybe you have some questions about the law and law enforcement during the times of pandemic. You could probably ask Sim a question if you wanted to at 10 o'clock. But, you know, our good friend Bad Brad Wheeler got burgled yesterday.
Did you talk to him?
Oh, I talked to him for quite a while, yeah.
Is he okay? I was worried about him.
He's okay. Bad Brad is just a great human being, and he was on KRCL for years. Now he's on another public radio station, KUAA, which is 90.9, I think. It's kind of a low power station, and he programs that. And he's been a bartender, and he books bands, or did book bands for
99.9.
99.9. He books bands for the Garage out on Beck Street and other things, and he booked bands for the Dead Goat for a long time. And anyway, so he was, and I asked him if he could talk about it on the radio, and he said sure. He was in bed yesterday morning. He said it was about 4:45, and he woke up and he heard somebody in his house going through his stuff, you know. And he said, and I said, now, did you really say this, Brad? And he said, yeah, I did. He said, what scares me is that I wasn't frightened. That scares me, because I wasn't frightened. I yelled out, hey, I'm from Ogden, and you better get out of here before I get out of bed and put my pants on and come in there and crush your skull. I'm from Ogden.
I love that. And did it work?
Yes. Yes, the person took off, ran off. He said he got a couple of things, but nothing. Well, he got something that had Brad's ID on it, so that's a problem.
That's bad.
Yeah,
but he got on the phone and canceled, and you can call and have people flag your Social Security number, so if things start popping up, you'll know, and they'll be able to catch him. And stole his favorite leather jacket.
Oh,
but he said the thing that was scariest was that he wasn't scared. He said, I don't know, if I'd gotten up and gone in there and confronted the guy, I don't know what I would have done. Because I was so unscared and so mad, which is not like me, he said. But
Brad's a big guy, though. I think if Brad walked into a room, and you don't know, he's a gentle giant, but if he walked into a room, I think you might be scared and run out.
I've never known Brad to have a temper.
No.
So
so Gina, you I think it was you said, maybe off the air, well, what kind of neighborhood does he live in? Where does he live? And I said, he lives in my neighborhood, okay?
See, if somebody broke into your house, though, at 4:45, you're already up and having coffee. And
yeah. Well, I talked to him, and I said, because I've had people break into my house before. I've had people tried to break into this house once in all the time I've lived here, 30-something years, 25 years. But when I lived up in the avenues, somebody broke into my house. Well, they didn't break in. The door was open. It was in the middle of the day. I was out on the back deck smoking a cigarette because I smoked it a little bit at the time. And I look in through the house, and I see somebody moving around in my living room. What the hell? What do you do? And I start running out, and whoever it was, I had grabbed my backpack that was on the chair, and I chased them out to the street where there was a car waiting for them, a getaway car, and they jumped in the car and took off. Somebody else was driving. And nobody ever caught them. They found my wallet and stuff like that in a neighborhood trash can. You know, they went through everything, and they didn't take the ID or anything. They just took the money.
And is it just because you left the door unlocked?
Yeah, well, it was in the middle of the day, and I was in the house. Mm-hmm. But I said to Brad, "Where was your door? Were your doors locked?" And he said, "Maybe not."
And
it
just needs to be part of your nightly routine.
He said, "From now on, they certainly will be." And I would just I just advise everybody that I don't care how safe you think things are in your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And even in small towns, I know people do this. They leave their door unlocked. They leave their keys in their car ignition.
Yeah, don't do
that. My dad was like that forever.
Yeah, and they do it on purpose. You know, they say, well, there's nothing to worry about.
I don't want to look for my keys in the morning. I want them just to be in the car. No.
So I don't care where you live. Keep your doors locked, even in the daytime. That's paranoid, but keep them locked even in the daytime.
Absolutely.
And don't open the door unless you know who's there. And I at one time, after that break-in, after a break-in years ago in another house I lived in Ogden, I got a gun, and I kept a gun around, but then that started to scare me more than anything, so I got rid of the gun.
Here's another tip. Just because they're knocking on your door doesn't mean you have to answer.
True.
I don't. I mostly don't.
Unless I'm expecting someone, I usually don't.
Here's when somebody knocks on Gina's door. Here's what you hear from the other side. So I've knocked on her door, and I'm waiting for someone to answer, and I hear. And I knock again. Hello, is anybody there? Hello, is anybody there? It's the plumber. I'm here to
fix the sink. Sometimes the kids will hear the door and they'll come running, and I'll be like, "No, don't, don't answer the door." And then they'll look out the window. I'm like, "Don't look. I don't answer my door."
See, now I always look. If somebody's knocking at the door, and I have windows to the side of the door, and there's a window actually in the door, although I have to stand on my tiptoes to see out of it. But I will always pull the curtain. There's a curtain and a window at the side of the door, and I'll draw that curtain back, and I'll look and see. Okay, that looks okay. That's my sister-in-law. No, I'm not going to answer that.
Well, she got that Ring camera, and every once in a while, they send out reports of things in your area, and you always see strangers walking up to people's homes and just checking the door to see if it's unlocked.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Super creepy.
Has that happened since you put in a Ring camera?
Oh yeah.
It has?
Not to me, but in our neighborhood, it's happened. So watch out for this guy walking through the neighborhood checking doors. He's checking the car doors as he leaves, and just looking for things that are unlocked. All right.
Yeah, so
we gotta
keep them locked.
Yeah, we got to take a break. We'll be back. Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Now, Scott Hale will come to your house, and they call ahead. We're on our way. Here's the appointment time. We're on our way. And they will come to your house, and Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air will give you a free estimate on a whole home air purifier and germicidal UV lights to help filter and clean the air that you breathe in your home. And these UV lights, they do kill bacteria. They do it very effectively. Scott Hale is committed to the community and to the customer's health and his employees' health. So they take extra precautions before and after they come into your home. You can call Scott Hale and schedule an appointment, and again, they will always call ahead and confirm. 801-264-HALE. That's 264-HALE. Get your free estimate for a whole home air purifier or germicidal UV lights, or get a free humidifier and air scrubber with a new AC or furnace purchase from scotthale.com.
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of two such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! Today, we find Butch and Lehigh on Starbase 182 around lunchtime.
Hey, Lehigh, what's up? You haven't been yourself lately. You seem a little under the weather. Here, I replicated you some lunch. This should put you back on your feet at your favorite.
Oh, plomeek soup?
No, macaroni and cheese with little hot dog bits in it. Man, you are sick. I'm taking you to the sick bay.
Are you sure that would be the logical thing to do?
Huh? Come on!
Very interesting.
What is it, Doc? What's wrong with Lehigh?
Elder Christiansen here is suffering from plateau.
Plateau? What on earth is that?
Not plateau. Plateau.
Oh.
The blood fever. It's not a birth, my dear Butch. It's a Vulcan disorder. Lehigh here is in the early stages of Ponfar.
But Doc, look at my companion. I mean, his ears aren't pointy. The blood sample you took from him was red, not green. He's not a Vulcan.
Have the two of you come in contact with any Vulcans recently?
Well, we met with that nice Ambassador Spock fella.
Was there anything unusual about this meeting?
No, we talked for a while. He mind-melded with Lehigh and then sent us packing like everybody else.
Mind melded with a Vulcan? Oh, dear.
Well, he said it would be the fastest way for us to tell him about the gospel.
Now, what's this got to do with Lehigh losing his appetite and then resetting the environmental controls in our apartment up to Moab standard temperatures?
Ponfar is the Vulcan mating ritual. Unless the individual who's suffering from the blood fever gets to Vulcan in time, he will die.
I still don't understand how Lehigh contracted this blood fever thing anyway.
The Vulcan who did the mind meld must have transferred it into the Lehigh's mind during the meld. No matter how he contracted it, you must get to Vulcan within the next 72 hours or your companion will be dead.
Okay, Vulcan it is. Come on, Lehigh, we better get going.
But Vulcan isn't in our Tracton area. We're not supposed to go outside of this quadrant. You know the rules. Zone Leader Hansen would never approve of us making a personal visit to Vulcan.
Oh, to heck with Hansen. They can send us both home if they want to. I just want to make sure you go home breathing.
Will our elders get to Vulcan in time to save Lehigh? Will Zone Leader Hansen get them sent home for leaving the quadrant? Will Ambassador Spock apologize for giving Lehigh plateau? What is exactly in plomeek soup anyway? Tune in next time to hear Butch say,
Hold on, Lehigh. Just a couple more hours and we'll be on Vulcan.
Butch, wouldn't it be more logical to reduce our speed to warp 6 in order to make the best possible speed while reducing the stress on the dilithium crystals?
Oh.
On the next mind-melding episode of Space Elders!
seem to be a little bitterness in that voice that the wingding is being postponed for an hour.
It's still happening.
So that those privileged babies can be on the air for another hour.
Hey, believe me, this wasn't my idea.
I want a billboard. Radio from Hell goes to 11. Billboard could be up today.
Gina wants it, so make it so then. You say
Bill,
it.
Advertising works. You need to tell people that, Radio from Hell's on to 11. I haven't been listening to them because I thought they were on till 10, but I will now check out 96.3 and listen to them until 11. You got to tell people.
I'm not disputing that, Gina. I'm really not. You just need to make it happen.
You act like we own a billboard company.
Like an electronic one that you could this fast put something up there. That happens.
You could you act like we could have it on by this afternoon.
I mean, even if that were so, where could we possibly find talented graphic arts people to do it?
You act like we have these just
on
in the
staff, just ready to go.
We've got a meeting today at 11:15. Yeah, that's true. Our work is not done, and so bring it up then, you privileged baby. I think
please, Bill, Baby the God, please.
Baby the God.
I think we should change it to, instead of the Lords of Morning Radio, we're the privileged babies of morning radio. That's us. Starring Baby the God, Little Baby, and Baby.
Baby, oh baby. He's Irish.
Yeah, Baby, oh baby. Baby the God, Little Baby, and Baby, oh baby. Your Baby, oh baby.
Okay.
I'm Little Baby. Carrie's Baby the God.
I like it. Write it up. Somebody write it up.
I don't know where. Yeah, again, somebody write it up and then put it on a billboard. Why don't you? You have as much luck as Radio from Hell goes to 11. You have as much putting it on a sandwich as you do putting it on a billboard.
Makes sense.
A sandwich board. People don't do sandwich boards anymore. The kind where you walk around, with it over your head. Remember, people used to do that back in the old days. Mm-hmm. Now it's some something with air blowing up its ass, waving in the air. One of those bendy guys.
Attention.
Or somebody dressed like the Statue of Liberty with a spinning sign.
Don't diminish the people dressed as the Statue of Liberty.
I guess that must work. You see it, or the guy at Jiffy Lube, and it's just one of their workers standing out there with a sign that says "Open Bay."
Yeah.
Right now, or people like the guy who dresses like the Statue of Liberty and with a spinning sign, or. Those must work somehow, or they wouldn't keep doing it, right?
I would like to ask the Jiffy Lube guy if, in fact, that works, because I don't get my cars lubed or serviced that way.
An impulse buy?
I don't impulse buy a lube.
Some people might, though. They might be like, well, if I can get in right now, then I have time.
I used to do that all the time. I used to, so it would be, and this is when I drove, older cars and stuff, but it would always be in the back of my mind, I need to get this car serviced. I need to, I know I need an oil change at some point here, and then I'd be driving by Jiffy Lube and I go, I guess I'll go in. And I mean, not because of the sign. I used to get my work done at Jiffy Lube all the time. Now I go to our friends at Excel, but.
What works for me? When I hear someone I trust on the radio saying, you should really go use this business service product. That's what works for me.
You're trying to be self-serving a little bit there, I think, Gina. Or, excuse me, baby, oh baby. But I have to say, I hear this is terrible for me to say this, but I hear endorsements other radio people do. Mm-hmm. And often I'll go, and it's not for clients that we have, and I'll go, well, maybe
it works on you.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Because I'll go, maybe I should check that out. And then I'll say to myself, or maybe I should get our salespeople to go visit that guy, and then we could talk about it.
That has happened.
Yeah?
That very thing has happened.
Here's a texter. I started going to Excel after you guys recommended them. See?
Mm-hmm.
I have Scott
We love
Hale
Excel.
coming today, someone says.
Yeah. So what we're indicating there is that perhaps radio advertising is a good way to go.
It's kind of what I was getting at.
Because because the other thing that we could do is that during the 11 o'clock hour, we could have someone dressed as Baby the God stand out in front of the station. whatever the Baby the God costume is.
It's a baby with a long gray beard.
Wait, I thought I was Baby the God. Wait a
You
minute.
are.
Well, yeah, but the costume. We would have to have a costume, and then they could stand out in front of the radio station saying, "Buy advertising. I'm Baby the God." I don't know.
Matthew says, I bought Brooklyn and sheets. Here's someone who says, I got Water Pocket light whiskey because of you. I bought a Quip because of Carrie. I don't currently shave my... but now I'm thinking about getting a Manscaped razor.
Yeah, it's... well, thank you. I still got their information somewhere. I was coming out of Sprouts one day, the market, and this couple stopped me and said, "We are the biggest Radio from Hell fans ever. We have used every single product that you guys, as a morning show, have endorsed." And I said, "Really? Come on." They said, "No, we promise you. We will send you an email," and they did. I've got it here somewhere, with pictures of every single thing or receipt that they have bought because of Radio from Hell. And Brook Linen was one of them at the time, as I recall. They got Omaha Steaks. They've been to XL Automotive Repair. They said, "Unfortunately, we haven't had any legal problems, or we'd go to the advocates."
But they're there when you need them. So.
Yeah, I mean, they really. I'm going to dig that up again, and
You should.
I resent it. I sent it at the time to the salespeople. I don't know if they ever did anything with it, but I think it's yeah.
Rosemary says, I love Zero Res.
There you go.
Brooklyn and sheet and bathrobe. It's amazing. Tiffany says grove.co.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, just something to think about if you own a business or, for example, a restaurant.
Yeah.
We got our new 10 o'clock hour that we're doing. We're staying on till 11. That'd be a great place to showcase a restaurant. Hey,
wouldn't it?
Lunch
For lunch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our lunch time is generally 10 a.m. because of the time we start. So generally, Kerry would go to his desk and have some lunch. I would go to my desk and have some lunch. Gina would already be at home or stopping at Hires having lunch at 10 or 11 o'clock. So because we're on till 11, if you're a restaurant and you want to advertise, you could bring us lunch to our homes, and we would talk about that on the radio.
Oh, this just in from Todd Newcomb.
Yes?
Yes.
He's asking our boss, do we have room for some billboards? I want to run some to promote Radio from Hell on till 11, as suggested by Gina just now on the radio.
See, it works. Radio advertising works.
I advertised on the radio, and then someone heard me and is taking action.
It's nice to know that the person who is our boss actually listens to the show. That used to never happen in the past.
It used to not happen.
Yeah.
That's
Radio,
how we were
it's fundamental.
That's how we were able to go from 8 songs an hour to no songs an hour, because he didn't listen. All right, let's take a quick break, and then I think we got Sim Gill coming up after these, in about 45 seconds or so. Okay, hit it.
Strong.
And we have Sim Gill on the line.
Yeah,
Sim,
I'm on.
Oh, there we are.
Hi, Sim. How are you?
I'm fine. Happy to be here.
Sim Gill is the Salt Lake County attorney. He is the chief law. It is proper to refer to you really as the kind of like the attorney general, but for the county. So you are the chief law enforcement officer of the county, right?
Well, that's a very generous title. So I'm a prosecutor, an elected prosecutor serving Salt Lake County.
So Sim, I want to ask you about fraud and that kind of thing in the coronavirus pandemic. But first things first, our good friend Bad Brad Wheeler, who I think you might know, Reverend Bad Brad Wheeler, his house got broken into yesterday. So if you could look into that, he got burgled while he was asleep. So he's fine, but so maybe you could look into that. But
yeah.
let's talk about fraud. I know that people are falling victim to fraud. Does your office deal with some of that?
Yeah, we do. As this coronavirus sort of spread, there was a group of us prosecutors from around the country, and we've tried to sort of proactively reach out into our community because while we're all dealing with the anxiety and the vulnerability of this coronavirus, and really the good of our community comes out in these kind of times. So unfortunately, so does the predatory behavior. So we sort of sent out about a week ago different prosecutors notices to the community, basically saying, look, there's stimulus checks that are coming in. It is a ripe and fertile ground for people to call you to help you facilitate that and steal your personal financial information, your personal information from you, and to be out on the lookout for that. People have sort of fake charities that are set up. Mm-hmm. There are the stimulus checks that are going out in terms of business loans, especially within our minority communities, that you see people who are saying, for this amount of money, I'll help you facilitate and get a small business loan and give us this information or give us this money. So it makes us vulnerable. So we just put out a public safety and a public service announcement saying, do not ever share your information with anybody. No government agency is going to call you to get your personal information, and nobody's going to have you pay a front fee up front in order to help facilitate that.
Yeah. Sim, let me ask you this about the public response to the coronavirus. The public has been mostly compliant, staying home, only going out to do essential business. There's not been any particular sense of unrest. There was the protest down at the or political rally, perhaps you want to call it, at the county building on Saturday. When I read about that, it said that there wasn't really any noticeable law enforcement present at that. By noticeable, does that mean that there were just no uniformed people there? Were there people there kind of keeping an eye on things?
I think certainly local law enforcement was aware of that. They were certainly preparing to make sure that there wasn't any kind of unrest that would escalate to that point. Look, the response from the community overall has been very positive. People understand that they're following the health guidelines. We do not have a cure, so they're taking the mitigation efforts. So this was that sort of quasi-political sort of a gathering that was there. Local law enforcement was aware of it, and I think at that point they just wanted to make sure that there was not the kind of any other disruption. As it's been reported in the paper, there were some threats that were made against the mayor, by some people. And so while I understand the anxiety that people are feeling, look, if you're living from paycheck to paycheck and that revenue is gone, it is an existential impact on you. But at the same time, we do not have a cure, and we know it happens human to human contact. And we need to be really mindful that as we think about reopening this up, certainly our economy, that we do it in a thoughtful, deliberate way where we don't compound the problem with a spike in transmission. The CDC, there was a report today that said, we may have a little respite, but we're going to be going right into another flu season, and they're anticipating a second spike, and our infrastructure right now cannot sustain that. We're lucky in Utah. We're not in New York City. But that mitigation is because everybody is being cautious. They don't want to transmit. So when I looked at the crowds there on Saturday, how many people were asymptomatic and spreading that to other people? And while that's a political conversation, your liberty sometimes ends where my safety begins, and it's not a simple binary choice. It's a complicated situation, and while we need to acknowledge the economic pain, we need to also recognize we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we need to do everything in our power not to spread this.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us some idea? Sim Gill is who we're talking to, the Salt Lake County attorney. What kind of thinking goes into, for instance, you obviously, so a threat is made against the mayor. Immediately there is a response to that. Law enforcement immediately deals with that. But then there are people violating social distancing orders. There's a case up in Idaho. A woman went to the park. She and her friends, they took down the tape that was, around the playground equipment, and they had their kids playing in the playground. And the police came and arrested one of the mothers, one of the women there. So
they
what?
asked her repeatedly to leave.
Yeah, they did ask her to leave.
They just showed up and.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't just haul her off, but they asked her repeatedly to. But so, what kind of thinking goes into theoretically? You could choose to prosecute people who are congregating like they did at the city county building. You could choose to prosecute people who are congregating in violation of county-wide orders. Why don't you do that?
Well, when the orders first came out, both as a general declaration of emergency and then the separate declaration of a health emergency, from a policy perspective, from leadership, Mayor Wilson, Gary Edwards, who are my colleagues at the county level, and even at the state level, the objective has been to address the pandemic. And majority of the individuals who they don't want to get sick. They certainly don't want to make anybody else sick. So it was about informing the community. It was about educating the community. It was about mitigation. And the direction that our office gave to local law enforcement was that, look, the objective here is to keep everybody safe. It is not about criminal enforcement. And it is only when somebody is persistent, they're violating that, and that it is prevalent, the transmission is occurring, it is running contrary to the public health component, then enforcement is really the last avenue by which you want to do that. Even with people who have been, found to be COVID positive, the health order usually is a sort of a voluntary isolation. Now, if they choose not to, and they want to go out there and infect people, then that opens up different enforcement schemes for us. But the overall philosophy has been education, information, compliance, and I'm happy to say our citizens, 99.9%, have supported that because they don't want to get sick. They don't want to make somebody else sick.
Yeah. Sim, is there anything, before we let you go, is there anything that you in particular want the citizens of Salt Lake County to know? You mentioned Gary Edwards. Gary Edwards, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He's the head of
Dr. Edwards.
Yeah, the head of the county health department. But is there anything in particular that you think it's important from a law enforcement standpoint or from any other standpoint that people know about what's going on in Salt Lake County?
Well, I think the most important thing is that we have a great team of leadership who are sharing that information. And there is not a vacuum in terms of leadership at that local level. They're following the science. And everybody that I know wants to go back to this quote-unquote normal as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need to recognize we don't have a cure, we don't have a vaccine. And in Salt Lake County, majority of the hospitals are in Salt Lake County. And do we have the infrastructure to address the spike that occurs? And so we all have to go into this deliberately in a cautious way. And the other thing that every economist will tell you, if we don't get this right, the second shutdown of the economy will be more devastating than this shutdown that we have. So these are complicated issues, but our public safety and the safety of our family is primary. And Utahns, I think, get it. They want to support it. We just need now to make sure we follow the science, not the rhetoric of politics or fear.
Yeah, that's it. And as we said to Mayor Mendenhall earlier today, I don't understand when people say this is, that county, city, state leaders are acting irresponsibly by closing things down. As you said in your comments just now, none of you wants the economy to be closed down. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's just insane to think that any of your leaders are doing this for any other reason than abundance of caution.
And I'll reiterate what Mayor Mendenhall said, that I think we should pass along. It's data, not a date.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the leadership of Mayor Mendenhall, Mayor Wilson, Gary Edwards, they've all done a great job. So everybody is working tirelessly, and I've seen some incredible sacrifice, incredible leadership, and incredible courage from our community. I have multiple friends who have lost their jobs. They have businesses through the slowdown, but they also know that this is a shared sacrifice we all have to do because we don't have a handle on this yet.
Yeah. Sim Gill, County Attorney, Salt Lake County Attorney, thanks a lot. I hope your wife isn't sick of having you at home all the time.
Hey, look, we're an essential business, so we're at work every day. So
you've been going into the office every day, huh?
Every day, yes, absolutely. We have 75% of our workforce is working remotely. 25% we rotate them in. We practice the social distancing, and let me just sort of add. There are incredible first responders who are there who don't have the luxury to not. They have to be able to stay home. Right. They're the ones who are the real heroes right now. Yeah. The grocery clerk workers, the ambulance workers, the hospital workers, the nurses, the police officers, the firefighters, all of them. There are so many unsung heroes who are right now giving us a sense of security, and we sometimes forget to celebrate them, and we need to acknowledge their effort.
Yeah. All right. Sim Gill, thanks. Always nice to hear from you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll talk to you next week sometime, and stay safe. We'll see you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
We'll see you. All right. We're going to take a break, and we will be back as the extra hour of Radio from Hell continues. It's 10:14.
You're listening to All Things Considered Dull and Pretentious on NPR. I'm your host, the Lyman Pettigrew. You may refer to me as Lyman Pettigrew. Our next program is funded by a grant from the Lyman Pettigrew Foundation. Every Thursday, we like to take a look at children's book reviewer, Mongo. We call it Children's Book Review with Mongo. Today, Mongo will be reviewing the timeless classic Runaway Bunny by Margaret Wise Brown, illustrated by Clement Hurd.
Mongo, Runaway Bunny.
Is that all, Mongo?
No, much more. Runaway Bunny bad. Make Mama Bunny chase after him. Bad Bunny. If Mongo run away from Mama, Mama bonk Mongo on the head. Bad Mongo. Bonk bonk. Mongo also hate Runaway Bunny because no color pictures on pages. Mongo like pretty pictures. Mongo hate words.
This has been Children's
Wait,
Book...
Mongo not finished. Bad character development in Runaway Bunny. Mongo not care when Bunny run away. What motivate Bunny? What compelling reason to turn page? Plus, Mongo thinks something kinky going on with Margaret Wise Brown and Clement Hurd. Bad book. Very bad.
Now this has been Children's Book Review with Mongo. Coming up next, we look at the explosion of goat cheese making in America's heartland, and later on we take a very, very quiet look at the exciting NBA playoffs on All Things Dull and Pretentious on NPR. But first, this news from parts of the world you've never heard of.
Well, thank goodness that the Wingding is back at 11. Well,
Yeah.
People were worried.
Were they? I don't know. All right. Do we have? I guess we have time for. Do we have time?
We got nothing but time. We're on baby time right now.
All right. Well, then let's get some news. Brought to you by.
Brought to you by Stovetop Stuffing. Stovetop Stuffing instead of potatoes. Try it tonight. Stovetop Stuffing.
Now, wait a minute.
If you're watching
yesterday, it was
x96.com/live, you can see.
You see Baby Oh Baby holding up a box of stovetop stuffing. Yesterday it was shake and bake.
Yeah.
Today it's stovetop stuffing. Have you been going to the Big Lots?
No.
Have you been going to Big Lots?
These are things that my husband is picking up that I think he thinks are a joke. I love stovetop stuffing.
And that your
this
kids
might be lunch.
And that your kids are somehow, it's a mystery to them. You think they can figure out this one? Yesterday you were sure that, yesterday you told us they couldn't figure out shake and bake, even though it says shake and bake and there's a picture of breaded chicken on the front. You think they'll be able to figure this one out? It's stovetop stuffing, kids.
They make it on the stovetop. It's not stuffing and stuffed inside of a turkey or something.
I don't get it. Stovetop
There you
stuffing.
go.
Actually, stovetop stuffing, well, it's not good, but it's not horrible.
It's not horrible.
No, it's not.
Stovetop stuffing. It's not horrible.
That's better.
I looked
Better slogan.
up the ad from the 70s.
Yeah.
You know who's in the ad for it? Anthony Edwards.
Oh, really?
You know, Goose.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hang on. Let me.
There's more than one ad, Carrie.
Gina watched several just to, because, it was important to do a little stovetop stuffing research. She can't. Okay.
There's one where the kids are at school. And they're like, do you want to come over for dinner? We're having stovetop stuffing. I'm going to call my mom.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay.
Did you find one, Carrie?
So I looked up Anthony Edwards. All I'm getting is basketball stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know what.
I'll find it and email it to you.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're doing news now, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, geez, I want to. How about let's? Today's Earth Day, and maybe we could celebrate that, or we could celebrate the fact that Eminem has now completed 12 years of sobriety. Marshall Mathers has been. He's 47 now. He has celebrated 12 years of clean living, and he honored that with a. Now this was actually the actual date was Monday, but he took a picture and showed people of his new sobriety coin. You get from AA, you get a token Clean dozen in the books. I'm not afraid. He captioned the Instagram picture referencing his song Not Afraid, which detailed his battle with addiction and recovery. The Grammy Award-winning artist has always been candid about his struggles with Vicodin, Ambien, Valium, methadone. In 2007, he overdosed on methadone after taking nondescript blue pills that he received from someone. Here, Marshall, they said, take these. And he did. He credited his kids with helping him stay sober. He shares daughter Haley Mathers with ex-wife Kim Scott, in addition to his adopted niece, Elena Scott, and Kim's daughter from a previous relationship, Whitney Scott Mathers. Well, museums are closed, of course, but so now museums all over the world have been revealing the creepiest objects in their collections. These are things that they don't bring out and show the public all that often or ever. They have them, but they don't show them. What kinds of things you're asking, aren't you? Fish-tailed monkey mermaids, a snuff box for storing pubic hair, and enough creepy dolls to fill a haunted schoolhouse. With their closed doors due to the pandemic, museums in the UK and beyond have been taking to Twitter to showcase some of the most terrifying items in their collections. England's Yorkshire Museum threw down the gauntlet on April 17th by sharing a bun of human hair once on the head of a Roman woman. Berlin's Deutsches Historisches Museum launched itself into they're calling it curator battle, #curator battle, by sharing a very on-trend plague mask. This is a mask worn by people combating the Black Death, and it's really creepy looking. And then there was a strong showing for Fiji mermaids. Now, I know what Fiji mermaids are because my son, little Bill, knows what Fiji mermaids are and even made one. It was a taxidermy fad for stitching together monkey-fish hybrids and then trying to pass them off as a real thing. They called them Fiji mermaids. Taxidermy tableaus, arguably one of the finest legacies of the Victorian era, well represented by York Castle Museum's claw-headed creature playing cards and Australia's Kitten Tea Party. It's a bunch of stuffed kittens posed in a tea party.
This is weird.
Yeah, it really is, and it's true. People used to do stuff like that. People pickled stuff in jars. And then I'm trying to find why there was pubic hair in a snuff box. I'm looking for that.
No, you don't need
now.
Here, while you're looking for that, try this.
Billy, like to stay and have dinner with us?
What are you having?
Chicken?
Just chicken?
Chicken with potatoes? Or stovetop stuffing?
Stuffing? I'm staying.
Stovetop stuffing and chicken. It's one meal really worth staying for, cause stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes tastes terrific.
You know, I'm free for dinner tomorrow night too, Mrs. Freeland.
You don't say.
Stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes. Ask your family.
That's Mason Adams doing the voice.
And that was Mason Adams.
It smells of Smuckers. It must be good.
But Anthony Edwards, yes, is in the commercial, doesn't say a thing.
Well, he's just a kid then. They didn't know he was going to grow up to be Goose.
They wouldn't even let him laugh because at the end, when he says, when his friend says, I'm free for dinner tomorrow night too, he does this. If you're watching, he does the lean back and the mouth open.
But no sound.
But no sound. He doesn't make a sound like he's laughing. He does the.
I found the pubic hair snuff box.
No, I said
don't. It is a snuff box which is in a museum that is said to contain the pubic hair of one of George IV's mistresses.
Oh.
So he saved it as a memento.
We had a texter speculating that it belonged to Clarence Thomas, but
no.
All
right, let's see what else we have going here. But I think that's fascinating. You can, if you go to what is it? #curator battle. Curator battle. You can find all of these bizarre things that are in museums around around Europe. Let's see now. Suspect in the West Jordan double homicide was arrested in California. I didn't see the mugshot. Gina said there was a mugshot circulating now. Now, this is Albert Enoch Johnson. He is the suspect in the double murder of the couple in West Jordan. He was arrested in Sacramento area, and there's apparently a mugshot of him taken after his arrest, and it looks like he was beat up pretty bad, huh?
Beat the crap. I mean, my guess is he resisted arrest, and
or he didn't.
It shows in his face.
Or he didn't. They just beat the crap out of him. Who knows? But still, we don't have any information about why he might have killed that couple in West Jordan. I'm sure it will come out, but we don't know.
All right.
Is that it?
That's good enough.
Okay.
Weather?
Beautiful. Almost 70 for a high today. Sunny. Chance of showers tonight into tomorrow. So you're going to be wanting to get outside. And I get that. Go outside. Just stay away from people. That's weather.
Stay away from people.
All right. We will take a break, and we will be back for the rest of the extended Radio from Hell program. 10:27 right now, X96.
Corey O'Brien kicks off the one.
Chicken and the bun. No cheese, no mayonnaise, no lettuce, tomato, onions, coleslaw. And can I get onion rings instead of fries? Yeah. And can I get bacon on that?
Bacon? Did you want to do the chicken club instead of the Cajun chicken?
No, you don't understand. What was your name again?
Kristen.
Kristen, you see, this is not a radio bit. You need to know that this is the way she really is, and no one believes us.
Okay.
So we thought if we got it on tape, people would finally believe it.
All right. Did you want the Cajun seasoning?
Yes.
Yes.
And I would like the spicy Cajun mustard mayonnaise on the side.
Mayo on the side.
Don't put it on the sandwich.
No, I won't. Oh, trust me, I won't.
Thank you.
And the cheese?
No cheese.
No cheese.
No
at all.
cheese. No, just chicken.
All right.
Chicken bacon bun.
Onion rings.
And again, we're not trying to be difficult just for the radio. This is real.
All right. Thank you.
I'm so very sorry.
That's all right. Don't be sorry. I would like to say I've had worse, but that's probably the worst.
And how long have you worked here?
Here, 6 months, but...
Dealing with tourists every day and their weird ordering habits, this is the worst. I want it on record, ladies and gentlemen.
It's from an official professional waitress. I'm the worst.
And again, this is no exaggeration.
Congratulations, Gina. Congratulations.
You've earned your spot in the Hard Rock Hall of Fame.
She's here to get married, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
And she's marrying a guy named Joe Jones. Maybe you as our waitress. I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Kristen.
Maybe Kristen, you as our waitress, you could warn Joe that it's still not too late.
Because I've been saying it every day, every hour, ever since we heard about this.
That's sad. Yeah.
That's what we think.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we've got more stovetop stuffing commercials.
You know, stovetop stuffing, it wasn't the only box stuffing available.
Was there others?
Oh, yeah. There's, let's see.
The only one I use in my house, stovetop stuffing.
The stovetop stuffing had different varieties as well. They had turkey stuffing and chicken stuffing. But then there's Stuff It. Leave box stuffing behind forever when you use Stuff It. There's Pepperidge Farm stovetop stuffing.
I remember.
There's
it's for Gina.
That's right, Pepperidge Farm. There's Three Bakers stovetop stuffing. There's all kinds of boxed stuffings out there, but Kraft had the budget for the big advertising campaign.
This one, and I don't know the actors' names, but there's the kid from Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, that
and another kid from some other show. Here we go.
What's that great smell? Chicken. Oh yeah, and stovetop stuffing. Your mom is making stovetop instead of potatoes. The celery, the onions, and all that great stuff. Think I could stay? Sure. Mom, can I eat it too, me?
Yes, but we're having chicken and stovetop.
What time?
8.
What time are you eating? 6, I think. Hello, Mom.
You can never get enough stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes. And to make as little or as much as you want, try stovetop in the canister.
After I'm done with my phone sex job, we'll have chicken and stovetop stuffing. Thanks, Mom. That mom's voice was too sexy.
Was she too sexy a mom?
Did you hear that? 8.
Well, and you can tell she's sexy mom because you're having dinner. Who's having dinner at 8 o'clock? Sexy
that's
mom.
Right. I'm doing phone sex for the East Coast. So,
and then here's the one that you found, Gina, with Ali Sheedy.
Mm-hmm.
Stovetop stuffing for pork with Ali Sheedy, it says.
For pork? Wow.
Yeah, here we go.
Uncle Tim, I'm making dinner. Want to stay?
What are you having?
Pork chops?
Just pork chops?
Pork chops with potatoes. Or stovetop stuffing for pork.
Stuffing? I'm staying.
Stovetop stuffing made specially for pork. Makes it a meal worth staying for.
Wow. With a name like
This
Smuckers.
stovetop tastes great with pork.
Stovetop made it to go with pork.
Great combination.
Stovetop stuffing for pork. Look.
For pork.
You know how for pork. For pork. You know how they. You know the difference. What the differences were. Stovetop stuffing for turkey, for chicken, for pork,
for pork,
and for pork, and then for lamb. No, I don't think there was.
No.
But you know what how they made them different? They changed the picture on the box.
That's I'm sure that's all it was.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
That's
I'm pretty
all the
sure.
difference?
Yeah, it was just the spices because I mean it was for chicken. Well, it's a white meat. Pork is a white meat. It's the same stuff.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They just changed the picture and the name on the box. But see, I was a Mrs. Cubbinson's cube stuffing man myself.
Here we go.
Dinner's almost on. Do you want potatoes or stovetop stuffing with the chicken?
Stovetop stuffing. Stuffing.
Stuffing instead of potatoes.
Delicious stovetop brand stuffing takes just 15 minutes to make on top of the stove. Stovetop is a natural choice with chicken. Serve it any night.
This is delicious.
Leave it to Mom to serve stuffing instead of potatoes.
I'll leave it to you to ask for it.
Stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes.
Leave it to you to ask for it. Yeah, there you go.
And
Well,
there's mom taking the credit for coming up with that idea when it was really the ad people. It was the madmen that came up with it. How do we sell this stuffing outside of Thanksgiving? And then Don Draper stepped up and said, "Oh, who's your competition with stuffing? It's potatoes."
That's exactly what happened. They're in a big boardroom. They're all smoking and having martinis. How are we going to sell stuffing outside of Thanksgiving?
What's your big competition with that? Well, it's either potatoes or cigarettes. I'm not sure.
Stovetop stuffing instead of cigarettes.
Instead of cigarettes.
What do you want for dinner tonight? Cigarettes or stovetops?
Hey, it
You
was
see-
the 50s.
You see, this is what you get when the show stays on till 11. This is what you get. You get the privileged babies of morning radio doing this.
Now I'm craving stovetop stuffing, a texter says. Thank you.
Right? What I'm
and
having for lunch.
Another texter, why don't we have Gina tell us a plot to another Mel Gibson movie?
Yeah, that was exciting when she did that.
Damn it, radio advertising works. I want some stovetop stuffing.
So who's gonna bill the Kraft company for this
Yeah.
stovetop stuffing advertising we're doing for them?
I want to send them a bill.
Well, so
Can
here,
you send us some crap.
here, Food and Wine magazine.
Okay.
We tried 9 packaged stuffings. So there are 9 different companies, and there was one clear winner. It says Pepperidge Farm Herb Seasoned Classic Stuffing. And they put it up against Kraft Stovetop Cornbread Stuffing, Arnold Premium Herb Seasoned Cube Stuffing, Martin's Potato Bread Soft Cube Stuffing, Harry and David's Apple Sausage Walnut Stuffing.
Ooh.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah. So, yeah, they put it up
So
against
Pepperidge Farm is the good one.
Pepperidge Farm. That's right, Pepperidge Farm.
But
I remember.
Pepperidge Farm didn't have clever 70s TV commercials.
We make our stuffing out of those chess cookies.
Apparently, there's now a panic buy on stuffing.
Uh-oh.
What have I done?
Uh-oh.
Well, wait till you see tomorrow's. I already have it picked out.
Ooh.
Tomorrow's classic food item from my pantry.
That's why it's important to watch x96.com/live.
I'm going to guess
Okay.
that it's Tuna Helper. Pretty
No.
close, huh?
No.
I used to
I'll
eat,
give you a hint.
I used to eat Hamburger Helper on occasion.
It's in the refrigerator. It's not in the pantry. It's something in the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always
A
kept
food
my
of
tuna.
my youth.
I always kept my Tuna Helper in the refrigerator for some reason. I tried Tuna Helper one time. Hamburger Helper, I didn't mind. When I was really poor in college, I would use, which, I don't know, was ridiculous. You buy this package of dried noodles and spices, but then you still had to buy the damn hamburger, too,
Well, it was helping the hamburger.
Yeah.
They just assumed that you had a thing of frozen hamburger in your freezer.
Yeah. And it was okay. It was mostly salt. But Tuna Helper, nasty stuff. Really nasty stuff.
So when my mom
Gotta
was
go
single,
home, get dinner ready. Wish there was something new to do with tuna.
Is there anything new you can do with tuna? Tuna Helper.
Like a tuna casserole, only quick and easy that I could make in one pan, in the oven or on top of a stove.
Is there anything new you can do with tuna? Tuna Helper.
3 Tuna Helper main dish mixes from Betty Crocker. New for tuna.
so when my mom was single, her friend Marcy moved in with us. Two single ladies out
Sure.
on town.
Her friend.
And Marcy
You kids
said,
are old
"I'll-"
enough to watch yourselves. We're going out.
Marcy said, "I'll make dinner tonight," and she made Tuna Helper. And I don't know how Mikkel got out of eating it. Somehow she got out of even trying it. But I got the stink eye from Mary Claire, like, she made this. You have got to try it and be nice and try it. So I took one bite of it, and then I ran in the bathroom and threw up because it was so gross. And years later, for Christmas, Marcy wrapped up a box of Tuna Helper and put it under our Christmas tree.
What a cruel person. Cruel. How so cruel.
Come on in for a meal with real cheese appeal.
It's the glove.
Tuna Helper Cheesy Noodle. Now with twice the real cheddar cheese in the sauce for a delicious meal.
Tuna Helper, make a great meal.
With real cheese appeal.
This is for a while. This is what Fruit Pie the Magician did when he was laid off by the Hostess Company.
Where is Fruit Pie?
He's over there. He's resting.
They made him wear that commercial or that costume too.
Yeah, that glove or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I never ate hamburger. I never ate stovetop stuffing or Hamburger Helper or anything like that when I was a kid growing up.
Really?
That's
I
key.
didn't either. We never had that kind of stuff in our house. If we were going to have hamburger in a casserole, my mother made a casserole. She didn't buy a box. She didn't need any help for tuna because she wasn't stupid. So
Yeah, that was my post.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. You really
Sorry,
need
I
help.
sent you one more.
Okay. Yeah, we never had them either because Mom says we can't afford them.
Well,
I got salt and stuff at home. I can do that.
Yeah, my mother was a cook. She didn't need that stuff. I ate that stuff like that when I was in college sometimes because I didn't have any money.
My mother was a terrible cook. All right. Oh no, that's the Ali Sheedy one again. Did you send me a different one?
I said
you sent me Ali Sheedy again.
Okay, hold on.
Well, I don't want to hear that again. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to hear it the first time. So there you go.
Announcing new stovetop stuffing mix for pork.
Maureen, we having pork chops tonight?
Right, honey.
I got a great idea. Instead of potatoes,
What, honey?
stovetop stuffing.
Isn't stovetop for chicken?
There's a brand new one, specially seasoned to go with pork. Sounds really tasty.
Is that a fact?
This stuffing is absolutely perfect with pork.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
New stovetop stuffing mix for pork instead of potatoes.
That was the neighbor from Three's Company. Larry was the husband on that.
Oh, really?
Good Lord. Well, I think this will be the last day we're on until 11.
Let's see. Let me see this next one that Gina sent me.
Oh, no, please.
Just one more.
Hang
Just
on.
one more.
Let's see. Let's see what you sent me here.
How about Chinese food? How about LaChoy making Chinese food swing American? Can we do that tomorrow?
I'll find that one for you, sure.
Vicky, can I help you with that Kool-Aid? Please?
I don't know why they call this stuff hamburger helper. It does just fine by itself, huh?
What was that from?
Vacation.
No.
Real
yeah, that's
tomato
right.
ketchup, Eddie. Nothing but the best.
Yep.
All right. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be back after these, and then we'll crawl away somewhere.
You're listening to All Things Considered Dull and Pretentious on NPR. I'm your host, the Lyman Pettigrew. You may refer to me as Lyman Pettigrew. Our next program is funded by a grant from the Lyman Pettigrew Foundation. Every Thursday, we like to take a look at our children's book reviewer, Mongo. We call it Children's Book Review with Mongo. Today, Mongo will be reviewing the timeless classic Runaway Bunny by Margaret Wise Brown, illustrated by Clement Hurd.
Mongo, Runaway Bunny.
Is that all, Mongo?
No, much more. Runaway Bunny bad. Make Mama Bunny chase after him. Bad Bunny. If Mongo run away from Mama, Mama bonk Mongo on the head. Bad Mongo, bonk bonk. Mongo also hate Runaway Bunny because no color pictures on pages. Mongo like pretty pictures. Mongo hate words.
This has been Children's
Wait,
Book...
Mongo not finished. Bad character development in Runaway Bunny. Mongo not care when Bunny run away. What motivate Bunny? What compelling reason to turn page? Plus, Mongo thinks something kinky going on with Margaret Wise Brown and Clement Hurd. Bad book. Very bad.
Now this has been Children's Book Review with Mongo. Coming up next, we look at the explosion of goat cheese making in America's heartland, and later on we take a very, very quiet look at the exciting NBA playoffs on All Things Dull and Pretentious on NPR. But first, this news from parts of the world you've never heard of.
Somebody somebody texted and said, "You guys are elitist snobs." I love to. We are not elitist snobs. We're
for
privileged babies. We are
Get
not
it
elitist
right.
snobs. Privileged babies, and believe me, sir or madam, whoever send us that text at 33986. I have eaten plenty of stovetop stuffing and hamburger helper and the like in my life, and even yes, Le Choi chow mein, because it made Chinese food swing American, and also plenty. Now you want a really old commercial that was so racist you couldn't stand it. It's remember the old Jell-O commercials, really old Jell-O commercials. They were animated, and they were a Chinese baby. Little animation of a Chinese
I don't think
baby.
I ever saw those.
Poor Chinese baby. He wants his Jell-O. And they were
said
just
Chinese baby?
Yeah. Poor Chinese baby. He wants his Jell-O. You could find it, I'm sure, Carrie. It's there. It's a animation, just Chinese baby Jell-O commercial. And
I'll take a look here.
And it was and they were, it's funny the kind of stuff that you can dredge up that would just be so unacceptable today.
I found it, Carrie.
But people are still buying plenty of stovetop stuffing, and but I don't know, hamburger helper, is that still around?
Yeah, sure.
But see, there's still stuff like that I kind of like that I grew up eating when we were really poor, like canned corned beef hash. I kind of like that. I like canned chili. I don't mind canned chili. Now I'll make better chili than that, but I'll eat just canned chili. It's fine.
Here's the Jell-O commercial.
Back to present ancient Chinese pantomime, just for fun of it, Jell-O tonight. Back to present small Chinese type baby waiting for dessert. Chinese mother bling baby Jell-O. Famous
This is horrible.
I can't even. I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
I think
That's
that might have been, well, I was really, really little when that campaign was on, but I remember it quite vividly.
With the horrible racist accent
Yeah.
and
Poor Chinese baby.
wow,
Yeah, poor Chinese baby loved Jell-O.
Oh, that's terrible.
horrible.
Yeah, well, everybody thought it was cute at the time. Poor Chinese baby. Poor Chinese baby.
Not elitist, but still snobs.
Love you guys, though, it says.
Oh.
We're not snobs. We're privileged babies. There's a difference. Please. Please. And I am only turning up my nose at your text, sir or madam.
People want to know, did they at least cast a real Chinese baby in that ad?
No.
It was an animation.
It was animated.
It was animated, and it was caricatured to the extreme.
Horribly.
Yeah.
Horribly
Yeah.
racistly
Horrible.
caricatured.
And Chinese, and again, Le Choi makes Chinese food swing American. You know that. And you can still get Le Choi. I see it on the shelves. I haven't bought it in forever, but I kind of liked that too. When I was in college, I would buy stuff like that.
I used to get that Molly McButter.
Yeah.
The sprinkled butter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just pasta, and just sprinkle it on.
Yeah.
I was really poor then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, no margarine, that was Molly
Nope.
McButter on pasta.
That was it.
Wow.
Then when I was first married and we were really poor, my first wife, her idea of a big dinner was macaroni with tomato juice. She just heat it up or bottled home preserved tomatoes and juice, and you just heat that up and put a lot of salt on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or slice up. And I know my son, who's moved out now, he eats mainly potatoes because that's what he can afford.
Potatoes.
And it's he'll just buy a 10, 15 pound, 20 pound, whatever is the biggest bag of potatoes he can, and then make potatoes in various ways, which I always used to do.
Might I suggest stovetop stuffing instead of potatoes?
Except it's way more expensive than potatoes.
It is.
Way more expensive than potatoes.
At this time, I'm right here fixing dinner for the family. Tonight, it's Le Choi chicken chow mein. Sometimes it's beef or shrimp or pepper oriental. Heat the meat and gravy from the top can and add the crisp oriental vegetables from the bottom can.
Yep.
Serve it with the choy chow mein noodles or rice and the choy soy sauce. Just think of it.
Not Choi makes Chinese food. Swing American.
Think of it.
Think of it. That's right. They had the double-decker can.
Yeah.
And then you'd buy the chow mein noodles.
Because you Americans can't handle Chinese food. We have to bland it down for you so you can swing American.
Well, that is true. I mean, most of the Chinese food that we enjoy here, like you go to a Chinese restaurant here, it's all food that the Chinese people have tailored to American tastes, and I love it. I think it's delicious. But General Tso's chicken and Kung Pao chicken and all of that, and egg foo young and stuff, they don't really eat that in China.
No, there's on Netflix again the chef shows that I like watching. I think it's Roy Choi. He does a whole deep dive on it. It's called Ugly Delicious.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah,
and he does a whole hour on Chinese food and why it tastes the way it does in America. And it's a whole.
What's the immigrants they came here to work on the railroad as essentially slaves? The Chinese, and they came by the thousands to work on the railroad. And then when the Transcontinental Railroad was finished, many of them stayed, and they opened up restaurants, and their clientele was American, and their clientele they wanted it to taste different than.
Well, they started making their own, type of food the way that they had it back in China, and they found that the people just weren't buying it.
They didn't like it,
and so they started, evolving it into what it is now.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. I
like General Tso's chicken.
So do I. I hate to admit it, but I will crave Panda Express every once in a while, and I'll go have Panda Express. There's nothing, it's not fine dining by any means, but it's certainly satisfying when you have it, I think. And I think they do a good job with it.
All right. Let's see, 10:53 right now.
We're very close.
Any thoughts on SpaghettiOs? Any thoughts on SpaghettiOs? Somebody says.
No, I can't do SpaghettiOs.
No, I can't. I can't really either. I remember trying SpaghettiOs
mushy.
even when I was a kid, and going, "Why is this so sweet? I don't like this."
I'm a sucker for SpaghettiOs even to
Really?
this day.
Katie, no.
Yep.
Here's beefaroni. I liked beefaroni.
Beef-aroni. No, that's rice.
No, that's rice-a-roni.
That's another thing that when I was first married, my ex-wife loved rice-a-roni. We had rice-a-roni all the time because, it is the San Francisco treat.
It is.
All right, should we do the promo and waddle our way out of here?
Let's see.
I got stuffing to make.
No, and no, they don't serve any Panda at Panda Express. That's not. No.
Confusing.
Let me see. Wednesday promo, is that what we want here? Okay. All right, got it.
We are halfway through the first week of our extended...
She's got stovetop stuffing caught in her teeth.
We're halfway through the first week of our extended show, so stick with us to get your Thursday morning going.
We know you need some normalcy in your life, so we will challenge Gina and a listener to a battle of wits at 7 a.m. It's called Beat Gina.
But we've changed how Gina chooses her competitor. Instead of offering a prize, we want you to go support a local restaurant or donate to a charity in need.
And now that we have an extra hour to fill, we are starting the 10 a.m. check-in. So be ready to call us at 10 a.m. and tell us how you are or what in the hell you're doing.
Keep some normalcy in your life and tune in to Thursday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
Remember, starring the privileged babies of morning radio.
The cheap food that we're enjoying these days is we get a thing of ramen.
Mm-hmm.
I made a trip to the Korean store yesterday. Hard to social distance in a little tiny store.
How many Koreans did you buy?
Several. I need more. But we bought some ramen, and then we brought it home, and then Sue will take and put once the broth is all hot and everything, she'll put a raw egg and 2 slices of Kraft Singles in it.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
That's something.
Yeah, along with some onions and things like that. Some other stuff in there too, but it's
Kraft Singles, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, it melts right down and makes the broth all yummy and creamy and cheesy.
Yeah, and then the egg kind of poaches in the. I like that.
A little bit. All right, are we good?
Yeah.
Got everything taken care of, Katie, back there? All good? All right. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am? I'm Baby the Baby.
We're all stuck somewhere.
It's true.
Corey is next.
A 1 hour non